Hello everybody, how's it going, and welcome to this video. Supreme Ruler Ultimate was just announced by BattleGoat Studios, as you probably maybe know. I don't really know if you know yet or not, but now you know. Which is a game that literally comprises all of their games into one sort of thing, which is why it's called Ultimate. You can play from World War II through the Cold War and even into the future, so like 2020 for example. And, yes, there's of course campaign scenario and sandboxes and stuff. The thing that concerns me is, well, there's two main things that concern me with this game. Now, I mean, all of the Supreme Ruler games to date have been, fairly good. 2020, I still think is the best, but, Cold War and 36 are still pretty damn good games as far as geopolitical strategies and stuff go. And I think this one will be another fairly good game so long as they do take their time with it, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, the thing that concerns me, and I know that some of the BattleGo guys do watch my stuff, so maybe they can clear it up in the comments, that would be wonderful, is I think it's a little bit too early from the release of 1936. Now, that's not to say that this game hasn't been in development since way before 1936. I don't know that. I can't say that because I'm not a developer, obviously. But I feel like it's a little bit soon after the release of Supreme Ruler 1936, since Supreme Ruler 1936, though released in early access much, much earlier than this, was, I believe, only released in, what, March of this year-ish, something like that? I don't even know. I'd have to look it up, but it was not that long ago that it was released. I believe it was less than a year ago, because I bought it pretty well when it came out, and I released a video pretty well when it came out, like a couple of weeks after or something like that. I think the Germany series is only months or so old, so I feel like it's a little bit maybe soon, considering people haven't really grasped the whole Supreme Ruler 1936 thing yet, and it's still fairly young and everything like that. I think it has potential. I really feel like maybe this could have been a mod instead, like sort of like Global Crisis with Supreme Ruler 2020, doing like a DLC, I guess you could say, for it, and releasing like a gold edition, for example, like they did again with 2020, and I own that gold edition for PC, a physical copy, so, that's my only gripe with it, really. The other one is, of course, the graphics engine is the same as 36, but, I mean, technically that's to be expected, considering 1936 is their newest engine. It's their best-looking engine, technically, although, in my own personal opinion, I like the 2020 interfaces a little bit better, but definitely 1936 looks a lot better, and Ultimate looks like it takes on the same graphic style and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. It even has weather from the screenshots that you can see in the background right now if you're looking. You can see in the left-hand side area, you can still see the weather, so I'm hoping that they do a little bit more with that. It's kind of an interesting concept. But anyway, that's one thing I know that really can't be changed and stuff. It just feels like to me that I'm just buying Supreme Ruler 1936 again for $30, and I really, really don't want to do that. I'd prefer to buy like a $15 DLC or something instead, but that's just me. I could be, talking completely out of my ass, and I probably am, and somebody will more than likely correct me on that. But even still, that's just my thoughts of it and stuff. Although this screenshot here, where all of the Europe is its own countries and not like, crazy ass colonies, I like that. I hate the colonies with a passion. But anyway, let's scroll down here. So about the game, you can read that on your own leisure if you want to play. If you want to pause this and read it, go right ahead. I'm not going to read it through. It's basically just telling you what the game is and stuff, which is just the pinnacle of their stuff, and that it incorporates all the games they've done previously into one big game, which is why they call it Ultimate. So yeah, these points I am going to go through, however. Play historical or futuristic campaigns. That's the first one. Play historical or futuristic campaigns. That sounds really cool, actually. I really like that concept. I hope that they do really good with it, and I know that they will, because, again, they have in the past. I really hope, though, that they also have, like, historical campaigns being, like, you can play as the 1936 campaign and Cold War, and the futuristic being, like, 2010, Supreme Ruler 2010, and Supreme Ruler 2020, though 2010 technically is sort of historical-ish now. It's in the past, but technically sort of futuristic. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I think that's really cool, although the only thing I'm concerned about, of course, is, like, how will they do the research, because they will probably, I don't know what they'll do. Because the thing is, if you're playing as a historical campaign in 1936, that's going to have a lot different technology than, say, 2020, so they're going to have to figure out how they balance that out so it's not, ridiculously overpowered or something like that, or underpowered or whatever in the futuristic campaigns, so that could be a bug, I don't know. I really just don't want, like, really crappy units from 1941 in my 2020 campaign, unless I choose to build them, of course, and be a crazy son of a bitch. Like I am with the Vodnik Lights with Russia. I gotta build them like crazy, even though they suck, because you can build 20 billion of them in 4 seconds. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a really cool concept, and I think that's really neat. So yeah. The next one, take control of any nation in sandbox mode and impact the outcome of an era. Well, technically speaking, that's to be expected. In a Supreme Ruler game, sandbox mode is to be expected. However, will sandbox mode start you in 1936, or will you have a choice of years, or say like choosing 2020, 2010, Cold War, or 1936, or something like that in the sandbox mode? I don't know. I think that'd be kind of a cool option to really have to start your sandbox mode in a set year, perhaps. I think that'd be kind of cool. Challenge yourself with historical scenarios for faster-paced gameplay experience. Seriously, I'm having a stroke. Scenarios are great, and one of my main series right now for Supreme Ruler 2020, in fact, my only series for 2020 right now, is the Scenario series, which is fairly popular overall, and is really, really fun to play because it dices up the gameplay and makes new things and different things every time I play it. And generally, if there is a series, quotations here, it's generally below 5 parts. Because the scenarios are generally fairly quick and easy to do, and they're just really fun. So scenarios and stuff could be really fun in this game, and I'd love to try them out and maybe do a series on those scenarios as well, depending on, of course, how many of them are out when the game is released. I imagine with early access, only the campaign will probably be accessible, and probably only parts of it at first, so we'll have to see with that one. Next one, the butterfly effect. Influence the timeline and outcome of thousands of historical events. Sort of like... 1936, and sort of Cold War as well, though Cold War didn't have it as much as 36 does. World War II and stuff, if you fuck up stuff, then stuff's still going to try to happen, but it's not going to be able to happen, so Butterfly Effect kind of fucks things around a little bit. I hope they fix that a little bit better. I think 1936 is a little bit, how do I put this, not as good as it could be, maybe? I don't really know. Yeah, it's, I don't know how to explain that. Butterfly effect stuff is kind of cool if it's done correctly, I guess. So yeah. Next, use diplomacy, trade, espionage, and intimidation to influence policies of other nations. We technically sort of already have that, I guess. If there's like maybe a diplomacy thing to like force a nation to do something, that'd be kind of interesting. But really, you already have that in all the other Supreme Ruler games anyway. Guide your nation through an era of unprecedented scientific advancements. So research is back in the game, of course. And again, from 1936 all the way to 2020. Should be very interesting to see how that plays out. I can't wait to see that. Modernize your economy to support your social and military policies. That'll be interesting as well, to have to update things and move things around and stuff like that as the years go by, so you're not stuck in the past and you can move along with the future. I think that'll bring a little bit more of a depth to the game, and having to tear down old stuff to build up new stuff, etc., etc. And maybe you can research more sophisticated methods to do things, such as, I don't know, industrial good making. Maybe you go from the assembly line to robotics or something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. Sophisticated real-time strategic and tactical control of your military forces. We had that in all of the others anyway. I'm not going to dabble into that. It's just expected at this point. Detailed, historical, accurate armies down to the battalion level. That can be very interesting depending on what nation you play as, because it'd be very interesting to see if that's actually accurate or not. I know, for example, 2020 in most cases is not very accurate. However, it'd be very interesting to see an actual accurate historical, like, armies thing go on. But the thing is, too, is you have to keep in mind that, yes, okay, historically accurate at the beginning, but with you changing policies and military funding and stuff like that, will it go up or will it go down from what it is at the current day or in the future or even in 1980 compared to 1936? That's the thing you'd have to be careful with, because you couldn't exactly just keep a historically accurate army and build it up or down as it has gone up or down in the past. You'd have to, of course, start it off with whatever it was in 1936, for example, and then let the player, of course, do their own thing. So I imagine that's what they're going to do, and I'm probably just beating a dead bush here, but that is what they would have to do. Otherwise, it would be very, very annoying to, say, play as Serbia or Bulgaria and watch your army drop. Choose a level of control. Make all decisions, or use your cabinet ministers to help. So basically the same thing as now. You can disable or enable your cabinet ministers to do certain tasks and stuff like that, or you can disable them completely and just do it all on your own. Depending, of course, on your skill level, I would recommend keeping them on or off. If you're really good, keep them off. If you're not, keep them on. Battle the elements. Fully integrated weather model influence battle outcomes. We had that in 1936 now. It's a fairly new thing, and I hope that they improve on it. That's all I really have to say. and up to 16 players in multiplayer over local network or internet. Now, my curiosity here runs with the fact is, are we going to have Steam servers, or are we going to use Game Ranger like we are currently with 1936? Because I think that if we use the same servers, I think it could be a very interesting and very fun and much more packed than it currently is multiplayer experience. Because right now in Game Ranger, there may be one or two things going on, like one or two servers, for example, but most of them are either private or you're too late to join, which really, really, really sucks. I think it'd be really cool, and I think a lot more people would be more interested in trying to play the game if you had multiplayer hooked up to, say, the Steam servers instead. Just an idea that I have in my head, I don't know. Anyway, PC system requirements, yay, stuff. It's also for Mac, which is very interesting too, so Mac users will get a chance to play this. There's no public review. You can write your own review of the product, but I can't because, technically speaking, there's no point because there's no fucking game. Also, I don't think you can actually write a review for a game that isn't out yet, so color me that. Alright guys, well thank you very much for watching this very guerrilla-style episode and stuff. Hope you're looking forward to the Let's Get Flashy, the 1-Up Wednesday that'll be coming out tomorrow evening. If you haven't watched that, the Battlefront one yet, please actually watch it. It's actually well done. I actually put a lot of effort into it, and I'd be really happy if you guys went and watched it and maybe got it up some views and stuff like that. It's not just my usual babble on gameplay, it's actually like me talking about a game and reviewing it properly. And yeah, so go and give that a watch and watch Battlefront 2, which is coming out tomorrow evening. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.